Hi everybody, Matt Bernier taking a look at the opening day feature at Belmont Park Friday afternoon, April the 27th. Race number 5, 6 furlongs on the main track for New York breds. It's the Affirmed Success. Before we dive into the field, I'd encourage you to head on over to DRF Bets. Sign up for a new DRF Bets account. You'll get a $150 sign-up bonus. DRF.com/join is the address. The promo code is TV150. Let's take a look at this field. It's not a giant field, but you've got some old, hard-hitting New York breds. Field of 6 are going to go that 6 furlong distance. We might as well just go right in post position order. The number 1 is Weekend Hideaway. He's an old, serious, hard-hitting vet. 8 years old now for Phil Serpy. You know when he's at his best, he can certainly win. He's 12 of 44 lifetime, 14 times second or third. Loves Belmont Park, really loves a wet racetrack. Don't think he's going to get that on Friday, but it looks like there's a little bit of a chance of precipitation. My big concern with a horse like Weekend Hideaway at this point in his career, his last win came over a sloppy sealed racetrack at Belmont last May, and it almost feels like, to me, he's dependent on that wet racetrack to run his absolute best. It's not that he's incapable of running well on fast tracks at this point in his career, but I think it's just a notch or two below what his game is when it's wet. If the track is very wet and sealed, obviously upgrade him. But if it's a fast main strip, there's a part of me that wonders if he's just a cut below at this point in his career. The number 2 is Gypsum Johnny, going out for Linda Rice. One of 2 going out for Linda Rice in this spot. This is a horse that he's done some very good things at a little bit longer distances in that sort of 7/8, one-turn mile range, but we can't really knock what he's done at 6 furlongs in the past either. 4 of 19 overall, 14 times in the money out of those 19 lifetime starts. The concern here is his most recent form is just really, really spotty at best, and then you include those layoff lines. He's run twice since Saratoga. 2 starts back on July 27th. He ran in that Morrissey up at Saratoga. He got beat as the 7-2 favorite, but I don't want to hold that one entirely against him. He was up there pushing fast fractions according to Timeform US. But then he's gone until February, and he comes back in the Hughes, and he's absolutely dreadful. Never picks his feet up at any point. That race has come back not great. You got a couple of horses that have been okay. The third-place finisher came back and earned a 92. But there's just a part of me that is unsure what version of Gypsum Johnny we're going to get coming out of this race. And there's also something that I'm a little bit unsure of as far as the pace projector is concerned. We're going to take a look at the Timeform US pace projector right now. Gypsum Johnny could work at a decent enough trip because you see that blue bar indicating it should be a slow pace and favoring horses on or near the early lead. The number 6 horse is the one they have outright on the lead, I Love Lulu. But then don't look too far back. There's the number 2, Gypsum Johnny. So if he runs one of his best races with John Velasquez aboard, he's certainly a contender. I just don't know where he is overall for Linda Rice. The number 3 is Caledonian. Caledonian, we have not seen this horse in over a calendar year. Most recent start was in April of 2017 at Aqueduct in the Grade 3 Bayshore against 3-year-olds. Coming back off a long layoff for John Terranova. Positive formulator fact for John Terranova. Past 5 years, dirt, 180-plus day layoff. Sprint races in Naira, 4 for 12, 6 in the money with a 236 ROI. This horse looked like he was a decent enough 3-year-old, but the problem is you combine the long layoff with the fact that he hasn't run fast enough to win a race like this against this kind of company. He's going to be a big price, deserves to be a big price, but if you do like this horse, you've got that positive Terranova formulator fact in your corner. The number 4 is Loki's Vengeance, and you want to talk about a positive formulator fact. As good as that one for John Terranova was for the number 3 Caledonian, how about this one for Linda Rice with Loki's Vengeance? Past 2 years, dirt winner last out, second after the layoff, sprint races, 11 for 19, 15 in the money with a 358 ROI. This horse, Loki's Vengeance, came back off of about a 4-month layoff, and he returned right to the winner's circle. He sat off of a pretty hot pace, all things considered, goes on, gets the job done with an 88 Beyer speed figure. The tough thing to analyze about the form of that optional claimer, the 88 Beyer co-highest last out in the field. But the runner-up that day, Wake Up at Malibu, comes back and earns a 73 Beyer. The third-place finisher, Candid Desire, comes back and earns a 72 Beyer speed figure. On the flip side, the sixth-place finisher comes back to earn an 89. So you've got some mixed results coming out of that race on March the 16th at Aqueduct. If he runs that race, he certainly has a big chance. You couple that with that formulator fact for Linda. A lot of things here to like about Loki's Vengeance. Also, again, with that Timeform US pace projector, he could be the one taking up that beautiful stalking position. He has the ability to sit just off and be very, very effective. Loki's Vengeance has to be viewed as one of the main players in this race on Friday afternoon. Number 5 is Pat on the Back for Kenny McPeak, making his second start as a 4-year-old. The first start was very, very poor, especially when you consider that race as a whole. It's come back okay. The winner, my boy Tate, has just been an absolute revelation, a world beater right now. He came back to win next out with a 99 buyer. And the 4th place finisher is I Love Lulu, who we'll talk about here momentarily, came back to earn a 97 buyer in his next start. Pat on the Back is the kind of horse that is going to need some pace to run at. And if you believe this Timeform US pace projector, he's probably up against it. At the same time, I kind of look at it and wonder if he's going to be closer than he normally would be if they were going fast and he's coming from well out of it. And in a short field, a lot of things can happen. Maybe Pat on the Back doesn't get entirely outrun. The big sort of bugaboo with this horse, he's just too slow right now. He needs to run a career best race if he's going to be competitive in this field on Friday afternoon. And the outside runner is the number 6, I Love Lulu. The Timeform US pace projector has this horse outright on the lead, and with a soft lead at that. And that could be very, very dangerous for Jason Service. This horse is a proven commodity. 19 times first or second from 43 lifetime starts. The overall record at Belmont Park, a little bit suspect, only 2 for 16. He's a horse that would love a wet track as well, and that's kind of the tough thing with I Love Lulu. You give him a wet track, he's 7 of 16. You put him on a fast main track, he's 2 for 26. If the rains come, very similar to Weekend Hideaway, maybe you want to upgrade his chances. If the rains don't come, perhaps he could be a little bit of a vulnerable favorite, even with that favorable Timeform US pace projector. You have to respect I Love Lulu, but again, just kind of factor things in, wait and see, play a little bit of weatherman or weatherwoman, and see how you want to go about things attacking with a horse like this, the number 6, I Love Lulu, in the main event on opening day at Belmont Park on Friday afternoon, race number 5. Let's take a look and see where I'm going to go in the featured event on opening day at Belmont. I'm going to go with Pat on the Back. There are some other reasons to the logic for me with Pat on the Back. You go through, and in Formulator, you can filter out certain results and certain running lines that you may or may not want to use to sort of analyze a race. I've gone through, and you go back and look at his most recent runs on fast tracks going 6 to 7 furlongs. 2 starts back, you've got a good 3rd place finish, beaten a half length by Australenka, only a head behind I Love Lulu in that Hudson handicap. He was the only horse coming from off of the pace, and there was not a lot of pace for him to run at. I thought that was a very good effort. You go back to the Finger Lakes race way back in June of 2017. That was a victory by a head, going 6 furlongs. If you're looking for another sprint race on fast going, you got to go all the way back to that Finger Lakes race, September of 2016, but it was another victory coming from off of the pace. Other thing that I find interesting, Dylan Davis picks up the mount here. This horse has won 4 times. Dylan Davis has been aboard for all 4 results. I think this is just an interesting horse in a race where you got to respect the main contenders in here. And if the pace does not materialize, he's certainly going to be up against it a little bit. But I think this horse is better than he would look on paper. And this is what he wants to do. If you give him a fast track, if it's a wet track, he's probably in deep water. Give him a fast, dry main track. And as long as he can be in a relatively close position, 3 or 4 lengths out of it, I think Pat on the Back might be able to outrun his odds in the 5th at Belmont Park, Friday afternoon, the Affirmed Success opening day. If you're playing this race or any of the races on the Belmont card on Friday, or all afternoon, or all weekend, whatever else it may be, head on over to DRF Bets, $150 sign-up bonus. DRF.com/join is the address. The promo code is TV150. Scheduled post time for the 5th on opening day at Belmont Park is 3:41 Eastern. Best of luck.